Happy to be here with aixigo for 7 years now. I won't mention a lot of aixigo during that speech. If you want to know more of aixigo, visit our booth. So I discovered 5 areas of wealth technology. What would you guess was the first era of wealth technology? Everybody can see. What was that? That was basically the Atlantic cable, because it delivered us the ability to manage assets across continents. That was the first WealthTech and the first access to markets. Then came NASDAQ with electronic trading. The web, where we approach customers, the customers approach us in different ways. And portfolio management systems were a huge business and a huge thing that you all implemented within your banks. And then 10s to 20s, the global financial crisis, the idea of disrupting financial markets, the idea of going forward with different solutions, entering our market, being entered into our markets from competitors from the tech world, actually. And I think one big accelerator of that was the iPhone, and that part with the robo-advisors. But now, you look at robo-advisors and see all over the place the robo-failure. You see that headline everywhere. But is that really true? And if it is true, what will be next? That one here is not from me, it's from Deloitte, and I think they put up together a pretty decent study on what would be the future of our industry and how they feel like it. They've talked to quite a bunch of people here in Switzerland, executives in the wealth management space, and they carved out mainly two main drivers. The one is on that angle, the client interaction model. So how do I interact with my client? And on the other side, how is my control of the value chain? So where is my part of the value chain? How will that? On the one hand side, you have the extreme of you have very close control. On the other hand side, very open regarding the value chain. An interaction model, machine-centered to human-centered. So these are the hemispheres that we're talking about. And they carved out 4 possible positions you could take. One is being a club-feeding private bank, where the incumbent players do tightly control around the value chain, try to be very close with their customers, like a fortress, and have very strong brands with a high-touch premium service. The opposite of that on value chain is you build up family office ecosystems, where you are sort of a collaboration partner with specialized providers, handling things back and forth, and have tailored family office-like offerings that also caters non-family office customers of today. So the upper high net worth individual as well. The other 2 are the digital islands. That is what we were told would be the case in the early 10s. You will always be disrupted by the digitalization, and none of your business is going to be existing anymore. None of us in that room believe that, but yes, that was some discussion that we had. And the wealth management marketplace, so where you would offer a lot of control and also be in a digital interaction model. Now, if you look at this, one bank executive might wonder where to go. And sure, if you ask a consultant, you get an answer. They offer the solution to develop a shared long-term view, determine a future position, stress that, select the initiatives, and then create momentum. So what they suppose is, define a core strategy, build up contingent strategies in the other markets, go for that one with your possible efforts, but be aware of the fact that you might see that this wasn't the right way and you have to move to this direction. So this is sort of a strategy with a plan B, C, and D. Now, if you look at this, I'm pretty sure that this is not going to work and will happen if you don't get the tech right. Because for all of this, you will need the technology to support that. Because one lesson seems to be very clear. Digitalization is a fact. It's about to happen. It's not about robos. Robos is just one thing you could do with digitalization. But gaining efficiency, being more open to customers, have different ways of interacting with customers, that is not going to change. We're not rolling back to the 60s. And now, a story from one of your peers, or at least all of your bank guys, one of your peers, not the consulting guy. That was a picture drawn by a chief operating officer of a customer of mine. He said, well, we have that very stable core banking. I obfuscated the name. We need to do things. These are things. And these things are being delivered to very different users. And these Schnürlis, as they say in Switzerland, are getting more and more complex. So next solution, next Schnürli, next attachment, next connection you need to build. So, oh, why is my clicker not working? So user and project deliver ongoing complexity to what you do. But they already had a strategy in place, but they said, in the future, we want every new customer journey in place in 6 months. And this, because that is digitalization, being fast on things, change things, getting things arranged around the customer, be customer-centric. And that was simply not going to work with an architecture, with a situation like this. And you don't have to be an IT guy to get there. So they said, we realized we should start to build more than a solution. First is, we get user and project one level higher. But we need a platform that is reflecting our core business. And we build a frame around that and deliver everything that our customers, our advisors, our CIO needs through one defined layer. Where I can get anything and do anything. Without asking my core banking provider or anybody else, can I do that? Do I need to change the system for that? When is the next release we could have that on? And how much money do you need me to pay to get that maybe done 6 months before? And they did that. They delivered the solution, but also built the tech stack that reflected their needs best. So it's about technology. If you look at technology in our space, there's one to ask. That's Gartner. And they do kind of have a generic digital business technology platform idea. How that looks like. Now this is generic, this is not meant to be cater to our business, but it's about customers, partners, things, in that case employees. And I transformed that into the domains you would look like if you would adapt that in banking. Now these domains are, for sure, and will be even more around that, the customer. Being customer-centric is the strategy to go. However you work that out and tell that story, but if you stop being around the customer, things are not going to work. Then it's for sure also on the other hand side, you have your wealth information, especially transactions and holdings. So everything that's in the space of what have we done around the customer, what has done in terms of transactions, because the customer will at one point always ask, how's my portfolio, where's my repo, what was my performance? So this is the basic information that you need. And in addition, I'm totally sure about ecosystem, because you want to have that special touch in your service, that special feeling in regards of being a customer of private banking XYZ. With Internet of Things, I'm not so very sure. There might be some things around smart assets, but if this is really an issue for our industry, I'm not very sure. So if you have that, the fifth domain is missing, and I think the missing part, if you look at their transformation graph is you need intelligence covering all the domains. Because having the data is nothing. Working on it, getting insights on it, that is important. And if you reorganize that, you will come to a situation where you have the customer on top, the things around that, and in the middle, intelligence as the core binding element of all what is happening in that space. That intelligence needs to be very, very specific. It needs to be very flexible towards the customer and the advisor and other users for all the consuming processes. If you look at the ecosystem, it needs to be highly bidirectional in ways of how to integrate that, because you have very different partners. Internet of Things, well, my guess is there is not much to do, but if you want to get that way, you have billions of dots to connect and you need to be extremely fast. And towards the wealth information systems, it needs to offer the wealth information system a protection, and through that protection it will enable the bank to build up a two-speed architecture that is steady on the back-end side and agile on the transformative, on the delivery side to the customer. So how do we get now from core strategy and how to prepare contingency plans, that's strategy discussion, to the functional strategy? And my guess is that the best way to work on that is don't prepare for one strategy, prepare for flexibility so that you can cater any of those strategies, and any strategic move that you have can be applied through the technology that you have. And now those two guys, I'm not presenting them because they have been one of the richest men in the world, but they stood for two very different positions in terms of how to deliver things. Now, if I say openness and sort of closeness, integration and closed shop, which one would you name as being the guy who is for openness?
Bill Gates.
Absolutely. And Steve Jobs is the guy who, you are my customer, I know what you need, and what I don't think you need, you don't need. Well, that's supposed to be. So he controlled the customer. And I think we have a pretty similar situation in banking right now, or in banking technology. Because nowadays, we seem to have, and I know there are people around who don't like me saying that, but I'll do it anyway, that we either on the one hand side have a fairly complicated world of banking solutions on top of a core banking system design. And core banking systems are made to be core banking systems. And you have those lot of schnurries. And on the other hand side, there is the belief that our core banking provider has a bit of everything, and what he doesn't have, we better don't need. Because if we do, we're not here, and we don't want to go from there to there. But is this the solution for our bank moving forward in the 25 or 30s? You decide for yourself. One approach is the approach that the customer I mentioned had. He came from here and was in the situation to say, well, I need to buy something reflecting my core business very well, and then maybe add a thing or two, but I need a strong platform for my intelligence. And he said, I want to have an API-led architecture. So an architecture that delivers everything from the idea of APIs. So deliver the functionality and not a fixed interface and not a fixed screen that you need to work on. Because your customer needs to have a different screen than your advisor. Your advanced advisor needs a different screen than your portfolio manager, and your CIO definitely wants to see something different, but they need to see the same data and the same information. And different aggregation, yes, but basically the same things. And then there's the complexity. If you want to do it for 100,000 portfolios for the CIO, it's something totally different in terms of technology. You want to do that for one advisor. So it has to be somehow fast. I think you should be looking for something that contains multi-booking, multi-custodian, because one of the days you will have a situation that you will have 4 or 5 booking centers all over the world, and you want to aggregate that for a CIO view. Or you want to act as a family office supermarket, you must be able to take assets from there, from all the specialists, and provide that view for the customer. You should search for a customer who offers all call services thought through and flexible. So you have to have different ways of doing discretionary portfolio management. So it's not robo only, a la contraire. You need to service the guys who do classical discretionary portfolio management, but in a much clever way. That's still very paper, Excel, and 15 application-based process doing discretionary portfolio management. Why can't we do it with one application that we provide to the guy? You need to be covering all products and financial assets, because we want to have the ability to serve those different strategies. And we need to have top-notch calculations, because if we don't get the things right in terms of the way we calculate that, they're not going to work. So, but I guess they found the platform for that. And if you do that, your architecture should look a bit like this. You have your core banking, that's your gray. I'm not sure if anyone has a company gray in their brand name, but this is yours. You need an architecture where you get a lot from your intelligence platform provider, but you should be able to, as a part of that platform, to integrate different things as well. So for example, maybe you want to have a specific cross-border solution, but you want to add to that. You need that openness from your intelligence provider. And on top of that, you then build the business solutions you want to have. Is there any practical example to that? Yes, there is. The scribbles you bought were drawn by the CEO of WealthTech. CEO of WealthTech, I'm not sure if that, because they did a restructuring thing this week, and I still have to look up the organizational structure, but Christian has been the CEO of WealthTech and draw that. And he delivered with his team within less than 2 years, a completely new advisory called Mars, with a factor risk approach that is unseen for that amount of budget and that amount of operating costs, and I mean double. In Switzerland. Vulnerable, and I will explain vulnerable a little later. They put things online from the portfolio management system towards the customer, so that the customer has the flexibility to have a portfolio report, advisor, relationship manager style at his hand. Transparency, white boxing creates trust. They will roll out digital portfolio management for Raiffeisen based on Vulnerable, and there are a few things in that treasure chest as well that will be coming next days. And what did they do? They took a decision for a platform, and we were lucky to be chosen. Actually, I think we are the only platform to provide it in the way that they needed it. They added a couple of solutions. For example, they added a cross-border solution, and these solutions are embedded seamlessly, and they are below one API layer that delivers that capability. Credit goes to them, for sure. Very inspiring vision, very excellent execution. I was told that time is short, so have a look at Vulnerable Forge. You can have a look at the app at my booth, or anytime you'll see me in Zurich. But I think Vault is exceptionally because it has the swift wealth management approach in a robust solution. So not only a risk-oriented portfolio, but themes you can bank in and also tactical investments that you can choose from. So very flexible. This is really wealth management style robo-advisory and not those copycat risk-oriented things we saw in the past. So my main key takeaways for you are, in uncertain times, you might need to create a strategy that creates momentum, but also provides flexibility. Wealth management architectures seem to be evolving away from the either one-size-fits-all or best-of-breed paradigm towards platforms of concerns. My belief is that no matter what your business strategy is, it will utilize digitalization for efficiency and experience. And your interest can be in flexibility and a specific solution for the specific case at the same time, if you choose the right platform for your needs. Thanks.